We are back with a heartwarming story for the holidays. Dr. Zach is back, and he's brought along some friends, some family friends with him here this morning, joined by Madeline, Charlotte, and Janet. Welcome to the show. Great to have all of you here. This is an incredible story. When you brought this to us, we were just, because usually we talk health and so forth, but this is an incredible story. Tell us a little bit first of all, tell us how you met Janet years and years ago. This is like 10 years ago?
This is about 10 years ago. And the thing I actually knew was, as of last year, what I knew was that these two are like best friends. They're the sweetest things.
Right.
And I knew we had some kind of connection. I'd met Janet before, but frankly, I didn't remember it all that well.
Okay.
And then Janet's dad, Scott, posted something beautiful that Charlotte had written on Facebook for Thanksgiving, things that she's thankful for.
Right.
And anyway, she's going to read it because it's the most heartwarming and sincere thing. And it really gives perspective as to what we should all be thinking.
Well, why don't we have Charlotte read that, and then we can share some the rest of the story. Charlotte, take it away.
What I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my family. My family helps me when I don't understand anything. Also, I'm thankful for my BFFs, Madeline and Olivia. They help me when I'm upset. I'm thankful that I'm not a teacher and have to correct 200 pages of math in one day. I'm thankful for having a great family, great friends, and a great teacher. I'm thankful that I didn't die in my mother's stomach. I'm thankful that Madeline's dad saved my life and my mother's life. I am thankful that I have 13 cousins in which I can play with. I'm thankful that I can still see one of my grandfathers.
So, Janet, you have to tell us, going back 10 years ago, you show up at the emergency at ER, and you've got, what, a sore throat? Walk us through it.
I'd had a sore throat for a few days, and I was really having a lot of trouble breathing. And people, my husband in particular, advised me to go to the emergency room, and I thought, I have an 18-month-old at home. I don't have time to go to the emergency room. And finally, my brother ended up bringing me to Emerge, where I was triaged as an asthma attack. And so they put me sort of off to the side and left me alone with my brother. And he grabbed Zach, and Zach came in and listened, and I said, it's not asthma. And Zach was the first doctor to listen and say, you're right, absolutely, it is not asthma. It's coming from your throat. And from there I was taken and within hours intubated in the ICU.
So how did you recognize this, Dr. Zach?
I mean, the truth is I don't remember.
Right.
I remember
because you've seen a lot of patients.
I remember
you work in the ER.
I remember seeing her in the room. It was in our suturing room. So it was in the walk-in area for people with minor things, cuts and colds and whatnot. Clearly, I mean, I'm not special. I'm sure any Emerge doc would have recognized. But there's a thing called epiglottitis, which is a life-threatening throat infection. It's an infection of the epiglottis, which is at the back of the tongue. And that can conceivably and potentially block your airway and cause death. And here is this 35-week pregnant woman with a potentially life-threatening thing. So all I did, honestly, was recognize that this is a potentially dangerous thing.
Right.
I got her the help that she needed. And then all these years later, I realized that 35-week fetus is now my daughter's best friend.
That's incredible. So, Madeline, when did you two meet?
Grade one.
Grade one, and you guys have been best friends ever since. And did you know this story at all until recently?
Well, I knew it a few years ago, but yeah.
What connects the two of you, Madeline, you and Charlotte? What makes you guys such great friends?
We're both weird.
Do you want to read what you wrote?
That is the best. Yeah, Madeline, you have something you've written here too that you want to share with
everybody. They both had to write about their hero. This is all spontaneous. They had to write in class who their hero is. So her hero, of course, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Meet my hero, Charlotte Feldman. Charlotte inspires me because she likes to laugh a lot. She is also super duper nice, and she always loves to play with everyone. She's my best friend.
Janet, going through that moment and when you finally realized that it was something serious, like, tell us, from the diagnosis to you finally obviously got cured. What was that like? What was that experience like?
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. It was terrifying to be sort of not taken seriously and then all of a sudden taken very seriously. And sort of doctors came running and crash carts came and then I was in the OR getting, intubated and brought to the ICU. It was like, whoa. I was just okay in the suturing room 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And
it was very scary.
And Zach, you were saying, in some of the notes that you sent to us about this story was just, how much you've learned from this friendship. Maybe you can.
Well, we forget. We're so wrapped up, me included. We're wrapped up in our daily struggles and stresses, and we forget to have perspective. And sometimes I get it because of the work that I do. Sometimes I see very sick or very injured young people, or even older people as well, and it brings me back to earth. And this was just a breath of fresh air in someone, a young person, and sometimes it takes a young person to kind of focus you and realize this is what's important, right? Our health is important, our best friends are important, our family is important. That's really the only real things that are important, and this is sort of one of the times a year when we should really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I can't thank you guys enough for all coming and sharing. Can we do our serious faces, please, to camera? Let's see. There we are, serious faces. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year to you and your families. Okay? Great to have you. And we'll see you in the new year. We'll be back with more Breakfast Television right after this.